Hey guys, it's Tom. How are y'all doing? I'm doing mighty fine, or at least that's what I'd say if I really were fine, but I'm not. But who cares? This is everything you need to know about the Sceptre 24.5-inch curved gaming monitor and not a well-being therapy session. Right. Anyway, let's get going. The Sceptre 24.5-inch gaming monitor is exactly what it is. It's a curved gaming monitor with a 24.5-inch size. We could round that up to 25 inches, but I don't think half an inch makes much of a difference anyway. The screen has a maximum screen resolution of 1920 by 1080, a maximum refresh rate of 240 Hz, a curvature radius of 1500 mm, a practically bezel-less design, 1 millisecond response time, and AMD FreeSync. The 24.5-inch size and 1080p resolution brings with it a pixel per inch count of around 90. The maximum resolution of 1920 by the maximum resolution of 1920 by 1080 or 1080p shouldn't really be much of a turnoff. 1080p is still a standard for most standards, but basically 1080p is still fine. It's still a good resolution, everything is still sharp, pretty, and clear. Its refresh rate of 240 Hz ensures that you've got as much smoothness as you can get, and that's if you've got the proper hardware to get as much as 240 Hz. That means if you've got a GTX 1050, you're probably not gonna get 240 Hz.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
The curve of the monitor looks very nice, and it should give you some proper immersion on some games like simulators. Apart from that, it's got also a near bezel-less design, which means you shouldn't have as much free space between the edges of the monitor and the panel itself. That should provide you with much more screen space for your viewing pleasure. As for its 1 millisecond response time, well, it's exactly that, 1 millisecond response time. That makes sure you have as snappy of a response as you can get, and if you couple that with AMD FreeSync, you can get an even snappier and smoother experience. But oh, how could we ever forget? Brightness. It's got a typical brightness of a little less than 300 nits, which isn't really the best for gaming in a bright room, but it's still decent. If you couple that with a 99% sRGB color gamut, then I'm pretty sure you've got a more than decent experience with it. Unfortunately though, it's only got a VA panel, so do with that information what you will, but we generally just recommend IPS panels. Now here's an interesting feature. It's got built-in speakers, but they're not the best, but they're still built-in speakers. That's a feature worthy of its $150 price tag. Yes, this monitor is only $150. Now, let's talk about the face amount. You can use a 75 by 75 mm interface for this one if you're not a fan of its stand. As for ports, you have two HDMI 2.0 ports, which are capable of 1080p res at a maximum refresh rate of 165 Hz. But Tom, you said this could do 240 Hz. Yes, you also have two DisplayPort 1.4 ports, which can output 1080p at a maximum refresh rate of 240 Hz, just as the monitor advertises. Other than that, you've got a singular 3.5mm jack for your headphones. And that's about it for the Sceptre 24.5-inch curved gaming monitor. It really isn't anything special, but for $150, I think you've got a really good deal. Anyway, here's the QR code for this monitor brought to you by our wonderful video editor. Say thanks by leaving a like or a comment and subbing. He'd really appreciate it, trust me on that. Anyway, it's Tom. Have a great day.